Yeah, hi folks. Once again, it's me. I'm back. I'd like to talk about a couple of things today. Firstly, the UAF Searchlight Hope and Hate, Hope not, well, Hope and Hate, yes, campaign in Barking and Dagenham, and how that impacted the BNP result. And I want to also talk about the economics a bit, just a little bit about Dagenham and Barking. Now, firstly, on the Searchlight Hope not Hate, Hope and Hate issue. You'll notice that if you received any of the propaganda they were spreading around, that there was a lot of information, including a very big and very well graphically designed poster with Nick Griffin in the midst of a whole lot of Nazis, sort of like leading them, a little bit like a Nazi Moses, I suppose, leading the children of Israel out of wherever. Anyway, it was well done, but it was ghastly and it was very wrong. So we have Nick Lowles of Searchlight and various others promoting the propaganda idea that Nick Griffin is some kind of a mini-me Hitler, an extremist of the worst possible kind. But I mean, the Labor Party doesn't have anybody like that in it, now does it? How about Angela Mason? Apparently she's at the moment a member of the Fawcett Society, which is a feminist group. But prior to that, she was an advisor to Government Congo, providing guidelines about regulations for all local authorities in England on equality issues. She was also director of the UK government's Women and Equality Unit, now the Government Equalities Office. Mason has also been a member of the Equal Opportunities Commission and an advisor to the Mayor of London, Ken Livingstone. She was awarded the OBE in 1999. What sort of a woman could this be? Surely she couldn't be somebody like the extremist Nick Griffin, could she? No. Okay, let's read. Born Angela Weir at High Wycombe in Buckinghamshire, she grew up in the Isle of Sheppey and was educated at Basingstoke High School. Blah, 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 University of London, School of Economics. She was an early member of the Gay Liberation Front in the UK. During the late 1960s and early 70s, Mason was a supporter of the Angry Brigade terrorist group. Whoops! What was that? Let me read that again. That could not possibly be right. During the late 1960s and early 70s, Mason was a supporter of the Angry Brigade terrorist group. I did read it right the first time. How about that? She was one of the Stoke Newington 8, charged with planting or sending bombs which aimed to maim or kill government ministers, their families, and Conservative Party officials. She was one of the 4 accused who managed to gain an acquittal as a result of a long and still controversial trial. Mason still refuses to discuss the trial in interviews today. Mason was an activist in the trade union and radical movements. Mason became a lecturer at the LSE, wherever that is, and then the principal solicitor for the London Borough of Camden. She became a member of a gay rights organisation, Stonewall, and in 1989, becoming its director in 1992. Let's go back to that, what she was doing later on. After this terrorism, from 2003 to 2007, she was the director of the UK government's Women and Equality Unit, now the Government Equalities Office. Is this actually... I mean, it's like a bad dream. But good old Nick, in his unbiased and unprejudiced and balanced manner, he loves to talk about poor old Griffo. Griffo, the National Front bloke, you know. As far as I know, Nick Griffin has never been charged with bombing anybody. But Angela Mason has. And Angela Mason gets an OBE? Oh, Griffo, he gets Nick Lowles the hypocrite, portraying him as some kind of Nazi messiah. Yeah, Nick, I think we got your number, mate. Okay, let's revisit economics for a bit. We've got the family. We know what a budget is. We know we have income, we have expenses. The same is true for a region, for a council, for a borough, and also for a nation. You can't keep spending more than you earn. If you do, you go broke. It's as simple as that. It's not a long, complicated story. At a family level, if you spend more than you earn and you have a debt, the only thing you can do is start using your credit card, I suppose, until that gets maxed out, or borrow from a relation. I suppose you could always win lotto. That's pretty unlikely, though. How else can you find money as a family? You can steal. Yeah, I guess you could do that. But really, I don't know what you can do as a family. But you can borrow from other family members, of course. That's always a good way to go, but you've got to pay that back too. But let's go to the nation. When the nation spends more than it earns, it has to get the money from somewhere. You get that from either a big resource like North Sea oil, from coal mines, but oh wait, coal mines were shut down. North Sea oil is 70% extracted. So what do we do now? Open up a massive fishing industry, that'll do, yeah. Okay, so we go over to Iceland, there's lots of fish over there, but the people at Iceland don't like us taking their fish. So they beat the crap out of us or something, or we have a war. But that's where it goes to. You know, in Australia here, we've got heaps of stuff in the ground. We've got mountains of iron ore and nickel, and we've got most of the world's uranium here. So we're okay. But we're only okay on an unsustainable basis, because that's all going to finish one day. When it does, we've already sold the banks, we've already sold the prisons, we've sold the water, we've sold the electricity, all of those things which we could only sell once. We sold it, it's gone, finished. And all that money was used by the previous, actually Conservative government, to reduce debt. And so we got out of debt, we had a surplus in the budget. All of a sudden the global financial crisis hit us. Now we've borrowed a truckload of money, we're back in debt again. You know what I'm going to say, don't you? This time we've got nothing left to sell. It's all gone. And so what happens? The Labor government, Mr. Rudd, has decided to tax the blith out of the mining companies where the money is. Go where the money is. So he taxes them with a super tax on their profits to pay for all the debt that we've just accumulated. And of course the mining companies are now talking about going somewhere else. It's just so predictable. But Kevin Rudd's a Labor government. You know, they just do not have a clue about long-term economic management. They bankrupt the Treasury, and of course on the other side of things, the unrestrained capitalism bankrupts the resources. They'll just chop them all up and rip it all out and sell it. So, you know, neither way is a particularly great way to go. Obviously there's a middle path there somewhere. No political party is going to fix the problems the UK is currently facing. It's not going to bring back a Ford factory in Dagenham. You're not going to find more coal. Even if you did, there's too many people there. The North Sea oil is going to run out. You are in, to put it bluntly, deep shit. And that shit is going to hit the fan in due course. And it's going to splatter everywhere. And that's the time when people become tribal. They go by religion, culture, race, language, colour, all that stuff. And that's when people start to think, those people are getting more than us. And then you get competition for the limited resources that are there. And that, my friend, is what the BNP are all about. Avoiding all of that by maintaining a reasonably homogeneous cultural, racial, ethnic flavour to the UK. You think you're going to escape it? I tell you, you won't. There is no chance at all. There is a solution, though. The solution is not the one that you want to hear from me. But if you do want to hear about it, it doesn't cost you money, by the way. I haven't got a book. You can contact me on my profile and I'll give you my best shot. Peace and bye.